Largest wildfire in Texas history is now 100% contained.
That's according to the Texas Forest Service, which updated the status of the smokehouse fire in the Panhandle. It burned, as you remember, more than 1 million acres. But according to an update over the weekend, fire crews from around the state who went to help have now been able to return home. But the fire is going to have long-reaching impacts, including even down to your grocery bill. Joining us this morning is David Anderson, livestock economist with AgriLife Extension Service. Thanks so much for being here, and tell us how that fire impacted the agriculture industry.
Well, really, it's a real disaster locally. If it was your ranch that burned up, it's a real disaster for you. But you know, Texas is a big state. We produce cattle everywhere in the U.S. And so the impacts of that are really localized in terms of prices. You know, it's not something we expect to see any prices changes at your local grocery store because of this.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So are you saying that we will see an impact on prices for us living down here in Houston when it comes to beef and hamburger and other meat products?
No, we really won't see any impact at all of the fires on our beef prices or hamburger prices. You know, we already have record high prices because we have tighter supplies of beef in the U.S. We're producing less cattle and less beef, and that's driven prices higher. But from this event, we really don't expect any impact at our local store.
Okay, yeah, I'm surprised to hear that because I definitely was anticipating that was going to happen. But now people are going back to their ranches. The farmers are going back to their land. What kind of conditions are they dealing with when they return?
Well, you might find that everything's burned up. And so, you know, all the way from the grass. And so if your cows made it, the grass is gone, so you got to replace that grazing somehow, replace that grass for those animals. You've got to feed them. You're going to have a lot of fence damages that have to be repaired, and fences are pretty costly now. And so, you know, there's just a lot of devastation you got to clean up from.
Yeah, factor in. David, do you anticipate some of these ranchers, some of these farmers will just throw their hands up and leave, not return?
You know, I'd probably say not really. Now, you know, every individual is going to be different, but you know, if we think about our own area around Houston, we certainly have, you know, urban sprawl. We have more building. We have pressures on land values. Where the fires are, we don't have those same pressures to sell the land for other uses, things like that. And so, you know, in terms of that, you know, probably not. You know, hopefully we get rainfall, the grass regrows, and we begin again.
Yeah.
Is there anything that people can still do to help that part of the state?
Oh, absolutely. There's a whole number of organizations that have hotlines and ways to donate to help all the people up there, from our own Texas AgriLife Extension Service, Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers, Texas Farm Bureau. All of those are, you know, certainly have ways to donate to help those people, those ranchers affected by the fires.
Yeah, I know there are so many people willing and wanting to help. For weeks, all eyes were on the Panhandle, and you know, we were in awe of the devastation and our hearts were breaking. So I'm sure there are many people listening and watching right now that want to get involved. So we appreciate your time, the information that you provided with us this morning. David Anderson, thank you.